The celebrities are gossiping about drama amid Baldoni.
Asking why Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds were even there.
They did this publicity stunt last night where they went on SNL and Ryan Reynolds made this silly joke, this really silly joke.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are canceled by Hollywood A-lister actors after pulling out their poor PR stunts in the SNL 50th anniversary event.
So Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds were the hot topic of conversation among guests at Saturday Night Live's.
The unexpected appearance of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds sparked controversy and confusion among both celebrities, and fans leading a lot of people to sideline them.
Justin Baldoni's lawyer has some choice words about it all.
This PR misstep amidst the legal war gave Baldwin's legal team an easy argument. If she is suffering so much, why does she seem completely fine in public? Oh boy, it looks like Lively is indeed going behind the bars.
Oh, hey, Ryan Reynolds. Hey. Ryan Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
In the ongoing legal dispute between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, the recent public appearance of Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds at Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary special has added fuel to the fire. And
it's it's SNL 50-year anniversary, and or Saturday night, whatever. Ryan Reynolds stands up, and she's like, "How's it going?" He's like, "Good. Why? What have you heard?" And it was all ha 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 ha.
So Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds decided that the perfect time to make a big, flashy public appearance was in the middle of a legal battle so messy it could be an SNL skit itself. On top of this, Ryan Reynolds made a joke about all this legal dispute between his wife and Justin Baldoni that shocked the whole world, including his own wife.
Ryan Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
This was the first public appearance for Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds since she filed her civil rights complaint.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' decision to waltz onto the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary stage amid an active legal battle was certainly a choice, while most people dealing with serious sexual harassment allegations and multi-million-dollar lawsuits might lay low, reflect, and maybe consult their legal team before cracking jokes. Blake and Ryan apparently thought what the scandal needs a punchline, but this punchline has resulted in a massive backlash against them.
I didn't like him. Just gonna be straight with you. I didn't fucking like him. So they're both equally repulsive.
From a legal standpoint, Baldwin's team might argue that Lively and Reynolds' participation in a comedy show, especially with jokes referencing the ongoing lawsuit, could be perceived as trivializing the gravity of the allegations, as public demeanor might be leveraged to question the sincerity and seriousness which Lively regards her own claims, potentially undermining her position in the eyes of the court. Blake's SNL appearance might be exhibited in showing that she isn't as affected as she claims. Baldwin's lawyers must be thrilled because now they have visual proof that undermines her entire argument.
They're sort of radioactive. In one breath, Blake Lively is saying she was the subject of serious sexual harassment during the filming of It Ends With Us, and now they're making light of it on SNL's 50th reunion show. So tonally, it does seem off, and I can imagine people just wanting to stay away from it. You're going to catch shrapnel if you get involved in this drama at this point.
Blake Lively has allegedly claimed that the controversy surrounding It Ends With Us has caused her severe emotional distress. Her issues include online harassment from fans who believe the film is poorly cast. And believe me, they are not wrong. The whole casting, wardrobe, and movie is a failure because the actress of the movie refuses to accept the instructions of the director. This is another accusation against Lively that she gives immense mental distress to the director of It Ends With Us that leads to poor production of the movie.
We do have It Starts With Us, so I'm hoping to see you back in the double duty role.
I think there are better people for that one.
Justin.
I think Blake Lively's ready to direct. That's what I think. So, yeah.
Another issue Lively is currently facing is negative media coverage that put her at the center of Hollywood controversy.
I will happily participate in releasing any further leaks that they have because the truth should be out there.
Frankly, it is a result of all of her actions. She started the media and PR war with Baldoni. Initially, she had the upper hand, so she was enjoying this whole situation. But as soon as Baldoni gets the upper hand, she starts crying like a baby. The major controversy arose when her old interview was leaked, where she is proudly claiming that she loves to sideline directors and take full control of the movie for her own satisfaction.
That wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative, whether that be in the writing, in the costume design, in creating the character.
And don't forget about the 168 pages of Baldwin's website, where he has leaked raw footages, text messages, and voicemails of his, and Lively the raw footage of behind the scenes, along with emotional interviews of Baloney, tell the world that he could never harass her, like he doesn't have the guts of doing it.
I told them that I wasn't in the best place. I told them that I was exhausted, that I haven't given myself time to recover.
It tells the public that the accusation against Justin Baldoni is about as legit as a $3 bill, apparently, instead of the usual Hollywood predator who abuses their power and silences victims with hush money. We now have a guy who would open too many doors for people smiled too much, had the audacity to not be a creep in an industry full of them.
Just when people thought Justin Baldoni was finally the bad guy, Blake Lively proved she will always be the bad guy. Justin Baldoni just released a piece of the puzzle that will destroy Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, Colleen Hoover, Taylor Swift, the New York Times.
This resulted in Hollywood and public to see Hollywood sweetheart Blake Lively, known for her wholesome Instagram baking and carefully curated perfect wife persona, as a career assassin, and her partner in crime, none other than Ryan Reynolds, the walking meme factory, who somehow convinces us he's just a lovable goofball, while a la LY pulling Machiavellian power move behind the scenes.
Contradictory. I mean, that behavior contradicts your argument that you want a fair trial and you don't want this to play out in the court of public opinion, yet you're standing in front of a room of celebrities on a national television show.
It is natural that a lot of Hollywood celebrities shut her down and unfollow her on Instagram after this sort of negative media coverage. Colleen Hoover, the writer of It Ends With Us, along with other feminists, also cut her ties with Lively. Her Instagram feed has no traces of Lively and Ryan in it.
And then we'll talk about everybody making fun of them, like all the A-list celebrities. What are you doing here? Why are you guys here? Do you guys really believe that you're still part of our crew, you crooked weirdos?
After all of this backlash, Lively plays the role of damsel in distress. She claims she is in high stress because of all this negative media coverage, and the lawsuit against her at this moment. Leone has filed a $400 million defamation lawsuit against her, and it looks like he is going to win it soon. That's why it is natural for Lively to feel stressed.
Now, Baldoni's lawsuit is 179 pages.
In the public, she claims she is getting harassed by Baldoni, his legal team, and various fans. This harassment is upsetting her. Now the question here is, if someone is genuinely so distressed that they can barely function, why are they in a comedy show? Such distressed people typically don't show up to a high-profile event packed with A-listers. They don't walk the red carpet in full glam for one of the biggest televised celebrations of the year. And most importantly, they don't mingle and socialize. Like nothing's wrong, that's why Brian Fredman has a lot of choice words against Lively and Ryan. He is pointing out the joke of Ryan in the SNL event, while also highlighting the happy faces of Lively and Ryan.
I'm unaware of anybody, frankly, whose wife has been sexually harassed and has made jokes about that type of situation.
Legally speaking, this was a golden opportunity for Baldwin's team. They can now argue that Blake Lively doesn't seem to be taking her own claim seriously, because really, if someone was deeply traumatized and facing a harrowing legal battle, would they be out cracking jokes on live television? Most people will be sitting with their lawyers, not their sketch comedy friends.
But now with lawsuits and texts and all the things that she put out there, Justin is allowed to defend himself. He has, and he's been doing a way better job than your maximum effort.
If you're filing lawsuit about emotional distress, it probably helps your case if you act distressed instead, Blake. And Ryan decided to show up at one of the biggest entertainment events of the year. All smiles, giggles, and lighthearted banter. The optics not great.
They showed up to try to make light, to sort of poke fun and seem likable and see everything's cool, guys, right? No, that's why they attended.
Ryan Reynolds' involvement could also hurt Blake's case because he is known for carefully calculated PR moves. So this wasn't some random date night. On top of this, his comedic persona can make the Sidhu situation look even less serious. His presence reinforces the idea that Blake isn't struggling alone. She has her famous husband support her. On the other hand, we could see Baldoni is alone in his journey. He has no one with him, as he is not a strong Hollywood personality. Here in one of the Interviews where Brian Fredman mocked Lively and Ryan over their SNL appearance, the host asked him about Baldwin's current vacations.
Justin, if I'm not mistaken, is on vacation right now with his kids in Hawaii. Is he still there? Do you speak to him?
I do speak to him. I speak to him often. I wouldn't call it vacation.
It looks like Baldoni is on a 1-month-long vacation in Hawaii with his wife and children.
I don't think anybody who's been accused of heinous, arguably what are crimes, is on vacation.
Brian framed it in a way that shows how helpless Baldoni is feeling against all these crimes that wanted to be with his family and friends to get some peace.
I think that he is trying to gather with his family and get some semblance of peace.
Everyone agrees here that Baldoni is in need of peace and some support. He is not in any fancy Hollywood events where he is showing his smiles or helplessness to the world. He has cut himself off from all the Hollywood drama and wants some alone time and peace with his family. This makes him quite a relevant and favorable personality among the Hollywood celebrities, further weakening Lively's case. There's also the jury factor public. Perception matters, and if this case ever goes to trial Baldwin's, lawyers could point to this moment as proof that Lively and Reynolds are more interested in playing celebrity victim card than actually proving any wrong. They can claim that Lively is trying to manipulate public opinion through media stunts rather than let the legal system do its job. And then there's the timing. While Lively was strutting onto the SNL stage, Baldoni was reportedly in Hawaii with his family trying to find peace in the wake of being accused of serious crimes. Now contrast that image, one person dodging paparazzi and trying to hold his life together while the other is cracking jokes under studio lights, which one looks like they're telling the truth. If Blake's team wanted to prove that she was isolated and vulnerable, showing up arm in arm with Ryan Reynolds, an A-list event completely destroys that claim. On the other hand, Justin's alone time with family in Hawaii further solidifies his claims. If Baldwin's team wants to use this SNL event against Blake, they'll likely request all media footage of Blake at the event, including behind-the-scenes interactions. There are rumors that the couple stays in the event for a long time, maybe 1 hour after the event ends, to mingle with the celebrities.
Mingling and taking selfies with other actors, cast, and crew. We're told they finally left the studio with Paul McCartney before they skipped the after party and went home since it was already late.
Sources told us that a lot of fans cheered the couple's presence. While there was a lot of gossip about them, Dakota Johnson has some pretty good time with the couple. They remain in 30 Rock studio for an hour, mingling and taking selfies with other actors. None of them ever talk about baloney. And if any have talked about it, Lively and Ryan just joked about this whole situation. Then they skipped the after party and left with Paul McCartney. This contradicts with Lively's claim that she can't even leave her house because of the emotional distress and Hollywood drama on top of the media footage. Brian may ask for social media posts showing her engagement before, during, and after the event. He could find a bunch of them, as the couple was not trying to hide their interaction from the media. Along with these, Brian can use expert testimony to argue that her public appearance contradicts her emotional distress claims. Here he can easily frame all of the accusations and PR campaigns of Blake as hypocrisy, like how she can party at SNL, but can't handle movie criticism.
But now they're out there celebrating, making jokes, making light of it, which Justin Baldoni's legal team could absolutely use against them in Justin's defense.
Now, on top of the disastrous legal blunder, Lively and Ryan also face the attitude of their fellow Hollywood actors and actresses the Hollywood industry lives for dragging people to the mud over past mistakes or even baseless rumors asking Johnny Depp. But when it's someone like Reynolds and Lively, charming, well-connected box office darlings, the silence suddenly becomes deafening.
The words that we heard were they were confused as to why they would be there and involved in this way.
A high-profile event like this means everyone is watching, unlike a private Hollywood gathering, where elites protect their own. An event like SNL's 50th brings together actors, comedians, media figures, and most dangerously, gossip columnists. If Reynolds and Lively thought they could just show up and avoid whispers, that was a massive miscalculation.
It's really interesting. A lot of them are just not looking at him at all, even though he's standing and talking. Right. That's really interesting. And nobody's amused, it seems.
If the reports are true, plenty of Hollywood insiders at the event were questioning why they weren't facing any public scrutiny. The same kind of scrutiny others in their position would have been destroyed by it, as if their presence was a blatant flex, as if they knew they were protected no matter what people were saying behind the scenes.
There were people who were talking to them. Paul McCartney
strangely enough, was hanging out with them. But there were other people who actually avoided them, is what we heard, that were just didn't want to get into conversation with them.
Events like these are where industry narratives take shape. If people at SNL 50 were already whispering about Reynolds and Lively that to sign their Teflon-coated reputations might not be as untouchable as they think today, it's hush gossip tomorrow. It's front-page news.
It does seem off, and I can imagine people just wanting to stay away from it. You're going to catch shrapnel if you get involved in this drama at this point.
Why were Reynolds and Lively even there? This is a question swirling around the event given the alleged controversy surrounding them, particularly their supposed involvement in the Just Baldoni scandal many Hollywood. Insiders reportedly found it laughable that they were walking around as if nothing had happened. They were side-eyeing them and didn't want to do anything with them. Another weird thing about Blake Live and Ryan's presence in the SNL event is because of their controversial relationship.